Just thinking about the word we and how it's distinguished from the word I and how it's used and what kind of visual images I think are going on, for me at least, just below the surface of my consciousness when I use these words, and what they kind of indicate, I think, because I think they might indicate broader ideas than are perhaps immediately obvious, really. Because just to start off with I first off, I mean, when I use the word I'm always pointing inwards like this, either literally or metaphorically. Sometimes I literally point to myself and I say, I think we all do. But so when and that I does vary a little bit. Sometimes I mean my body, sometimes I mean some aspect of my personality. But if I keep probing, and sometimes it might mean something in the past, some kind of continuous set of information that has passed through me over time. The stable bit of myself that was there when I was 7 and still around now I'm 55. But if I keep probing that, I eventually seem to feel like I'm getting to a kind of contentless point. I don't know if it makes any sense. But, if I keep saying, what am I, or I keep asking those kind of questions, I'm not really my history. I'm not really my the clothes I'm wearing or the particular body. I'm certainly not the molecules that make up that body. I'm not any of those things. I get a sense that there's an I inside, which is almost got no content at all. It's just kind of the still centre of my world that turns around me. So it's like a point in the middle of a circle, just an axis or a hub or a wheel, that kind of thing. But we, on the other hand, when I say we, I'm reaching out, aren't I? Pointing outwards, gesturing outwards. So we might be you and I. I might have this little circle around me, which is actually around both of us. There's a point between us, isn't there? That is a kind of extrapolated centre around which we both spin, and we are both included in that. Or I might use it in an exclusionary way, so I might say we here in Cornwall, on this side of the camera lens, as opposed to you, in which case I'm drawing the circle around this particular part of the environment. I'm included within it, but it's this we is inclusive of, as I say, of this part of the world. Or it might be even more expansive than that, might I? I might want to talk about we here in Cornwall, or we here in the UK, or we in the West. I might even want to talk about we humans, as opposed to any speculated aliens. Or I might include people like things like the seagull. I might say we mammals have got it pretty good here in Cornwall. Is a bird a mammal? I guess so. Anyway, we've got it pretty good here, Or I might even include all the life forms around me. We of the God, I wish I knew more about biology. But we who have evolved from DNA, I might even say, we who share this particular ecosystem. I've kind of expanded it out to other kind of life forms, and I might even extend it out beyond that. In a video I made yesterday, I found myself using the phrase "when we were chemistry." I was talking about evolutionary history a little bit and talking about DNA. At a certain point, before we became anything like cells, it wouldn't have made sense to talk about biology, would it? But I found myself saying, so when we were chemistry, as if there's a we which extended beyond the realms of the simply biological and the psychological into the chemical. And I don't think that's completely naff, is it? I don't think it's completely bogus. I mean, in fact, when I use a term like we here in the West, I don't just mean people, do I? I mean ideas that people hold. I mean the prejudices we have, and the kind of knowledge we have, and the kinds of things we hold to be true, and the kind of political systems we adhere to. And I'm talking about all those kind of abstract and non-living things also. So I think we does also include the non-living sometimes, when we include ourselves in that. And potentially it goes out much further than that, doesn't it? I mean, I guess where I'm going with this is that, since we has this kind of gesture of outwards, the entertainment of holding mutually, of a reaching out or a pointing out to say this is what we are, as opposed to I, which is a pointing into the contentless point at the centre of one's being, let's say. The we, the ultimate we, is a kind of hypothetical endpoint, a hypothetical horizon, isn't it? A hypothetical periphery to this massive circle that we just keep imagining ourselves extending. How far can we extend the franchise of who we are, of what we is? which we're absolutely embedded within, absolutely part of, absolutely perhaps even central to from our own perspective. But you know, how far can we get that we? Maybe we is always said in relation to a not we, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe we can't. Maybe there is a we which is ultimately inclusive and from which there is no exclusion. Maybe it'll meet the eye at that point, like an Uraboric loop anyway. Yeah, but the yeah, there's something funny about it though, isn't it? I mean, it's in a way we'd never say this, I don't think, and I don't think we mean it in day-to-day life. But it seems to me that hidden within that I and that we is this much older idea to do with the soul. And I know I'm dicing my death using a word like soul because it's so bound up with very particular religious dogmas and beliefs and misunderstandings and confusions and bad guesses and all those kind of things. But just in a more abstract kind of lyrical or poetic sense for now, you know, the idea of an I, this contentless point, is very like old ideas of the soul, and we, in that ultimately abstract, outward reaching to the horizon sense, is very reminiscent, to me at least, of the kind of world soul that you see featured in some bits of writing, philosophy, theology, those kind of ideas. You know what I mean? Maybe when we are using I and we, somewhere covert within that, somewhere right down deep within it, that we'd probably never own up to, there is this sense of at least an ambition to slot within a cosmology that has an individual soul, an I, within a world soul, the big we. The big we. Anyway, I'm down by the river. Pretty, isn't it? Look at the way that shot there is reflecting in the river. Quite nice, that. There's Truro Cathedral. That'll do it.